winter is coming. It's a beautiful dream. Stopping the wheel.
I'm not going to stop the wheel. I'm going to break the wheel.
Your reign is over.
My reign has just begun.
You are my queen. Now and always.
The snows fall and the white winds blow. The lone wolf dies, but the pack survives.
Welcome.
Oh,
Well, so Caleb, what'd you think? What did everybody think about my intro video?
I thought that was just the tits, man.
Yeah. It was a little bit of a work in progress, getting it done. I will post the young lady's name that did the video for me. She put a lot of work into it and did a great job. She's actually coincidentally, what's up, Risman? What's up, Breezies? Damio, Special Ray. She's coincidentally from Brazil, where we have CCXP today. What's up, Daisy Blossom? And she, yeah, we need more Jon Snow. So, what I wanted to achieve with that video is an intro to what's going to be our Hand of the King streams. This one's a little one-off today because we got some news. We got some
Yeah,
footage
we
that
did.
we're gonna get into. So, what I wanted to achieve was I told her when we started, because there's so many characters in Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, so many, you could do a 10-minute video, right? And show all these characters. But I wanted her to do something that tied in the visual aesthetic and the themes of basically the story of the Targaryens and love stories, right? The Jon Snow and Daenerys and the Rhaenyra and Daemon and their journeys, right? And then within that, the theme of ice and fire and specifically the Targaryens and the dragons, because just like George Lucas would say back in the day, that this is a story of the Skywalkers from Anakin to Luke and Leia. And there are so many characters in Game of Thrones and in George R. R. Martin's world that he's built with Westeros. But at the end of the day, it lives and dies with the Targaryens, which John is included in that. So that, I wanted to achieve that for that first, to tie in the theme of what, fire and ice is, right? And now with House of the Dragon, we have fire and blood. And so, yeah, I was excited. I thought she did a great job. She's going to be doing more intro videos and videos in general for me around music and themed. And so I'm excited to work with her on that. So hopefully everybody liked that. And everybody that sees this video later enjoys it. That's the first time we've shown it publicly. So kind of excited. So before we get started, we had a little bit of a teaser trailer today, Caleb.
I think we had more than a teaser trailer. I mean,
It was
that was
more.
almost
Were you
a full-on
surprised?
trailer.
Were
A
you
little bit,
surprised
yeah.
at how much they showed?
Even though they told us, I think it was yesterday, they said it would be like 75 seconds. I didn't
Correct.
think it would be 75 seconds of content. I thought it would be like, here's 30 seconds. Here's a nice shot of the dragons, maybe a shot of Winterfell. And then the other, 45 seconds would be like previously on footage. That's what I thought we were going to get. But this
Right.
was like, this is a full-on trailer.
Yeah, it was. So before we get into screenshots and what we saw, I was thinking the same as you. I thought, they're gonna not have much dialogue. But they'll show us a little bit. Maybe it'll get us somewhat excited. But for me, other than not seeing Winterfell, we did see the Night's Watch. I thought that they kept enough out of it from the later part of the episodes of the season, from what I saw. And what's pretty common for a lot of these teaser trailers is, at least for the first one, before they do the full trailer before the season starts, which we'll probably get something during the Super Bowl or after.
Yeah, I would expect. Yeah.
Yeah, probably Super Bowl. The message, the theme was there, and Rhaenys talking to Rhaenyra and talking about,
That was a beautiful.
line. That the only thing, despised by the gods is, and when war is war between
Kith and
kin,
Yeah.
despised by the gods. And then she says, and the only thing the only war more bloody is a war between dragons.
Mm-hmm.
And so that, that's what the teaser really achieved, and
Yeah.
so, give me your thoughts before we share our screens and show a little bit of what we saw. Give me your thoughts on the teaser itself. You watched it. How many times have you seen it?
So I've only watched it once. So my plan was to watch it once and then do a video about it. But then I slept later and I watched some football and then I had to work. So I wish we could play it on here. That would be awesome. But unfortunately, the way YouTube works, we just can't.
Yeah, at least not right now.
I think eventually they'll probably be a little more lax, but day of, I can do it on mine, but we can't do it.
And I don't want to have this stream pulled, because obviously it's going to go out. And what's up, Mr. Graber? It's going to go out, and
6 times.
It's got my. I wanted to show people my intro video before we get into this because I was pretty proud of it. So,
absolutely.
I've seen it. So I knew that they were having the panel at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, the Brazil time. I said, okay, it's starting at 11 a.m. my time. So I was ready. And what was funny was the people at CCXP were so fired up. And then they got in there and they saw the schedule. And I don't know if you saw it, but they started with, I think, True Detective on the HBO panel.
Yeah, I didn't see the panel itself. Like I just I haven't seen.
So this was funny. And oh, by the way, this tells you how important House of the Dragon is.
Yeah.
So they had True Detective with Jodie Foster.
Mm-hmm.
They had Fallout, The Last of Us, and they ended with House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
And so
why wouldn't you?
Yeah. So when they
everyone's
got started,
gonna leave. If you start with House of the Dragon, everyone's gonna leave.
Yeah. So people were going, wait a minute. This was supposed to start at at this time, and people were itching at it. So then, as they were getting through the panels, before House of the Dragon panel started, the teaser hit online.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Through the official site.
Mm-hmm.
And so, when the teaser hit, I think I sent it, right? I sent it out and people are like, it's private. You can't see it. They pulled it quickly. And thanks for joining, Ronnie. The notifications thing, I don't know, man. YouTube is so funny. I have channels that I love and I don't get notifications.
Yeah, you've got to make sure you have the notifications set for all. Sometimes people will set for all, and then YouTube switches it back to personalized.
And oh, by the way, I don't blame YouTube because this is my first stream in over a month. So wasn't exactly planned today, but we had to talk about House of the Dragon. What's up,
Breezy,
Marvel
make
Purist?
sure to let us know how that looks because I might buy one too.
Absolutely. I have dragons coming to my studio. So for those that keep up with some of the stuff that's out there, the McFarlane toys, I bought every dragon they have. That it has to do with Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon.
Hey, now only winter is coming.
That's right. I did not
It's coming.
get some of the dragons around Smog and some of the others that are out there. I think they have.
No, it didn't look very good.
Yeah. So, but so let's talk before we share our screen and get into some screenshots and talk about what we think they are, because some of them are very clear to know what's going on, and we don't want to spoil anything for anybody that hasn't read Fire and Blood.
Right.
But there are some shots that we're going to talk about because we don't know what they are.
Yeah.
And so the teaser comes out, people are pumped. I loved it. I think this, I'm biased, but I think this is the best IP out there right now.
Yep.
You know, I know people were frustrated with the end of Game of Thrones, but all it took was one episode of House of the Dragon.
I've told this story before, but I'm gonna completely interrupt you and tell the story again.
Sure.
I think it's so great, and it explains the repair that Ryan Condal did. But I was dead set against this show. I thought it was gonna be garbage because I heard everything the actresses and the actors and Miguel Sapochnik were saying. And so the show comes out, I don't watch it. And I get about 3 text messages from people on probably Tuesday and Wednesday of the following week. Hey, have you watched the episode yet? No, I'm not watching that. Then I got a text from a buddy of mine that was a huge Game of Thrones fan. Said, you need to watch it. You have to. It's, oh my God. And I was like, there's no way. There's no way, dude. They're pulling the rug out from underneath us. But I said, you know what? Fine. And I watched it. And holy crap, I was set. I mean, let's go. Come on. Team Black.
Yeah. I mean, so I think it was interesting, the crowd in Brazil and Star Wars Marvel Purist. Listen, I'm all in on Ryan Condal right now. Conan, I'll take that in a minute. You know, they never did a movie or a series or anything based on Conan the Cimmerian, right?
Well, they were supposed to do.
Correct me if that title of the book was wrong. I think it was the Cimmerian.
So I don't know about that, but Amazon was supposed to do a series on Conan, and they had the crew, and I think they were casting everything, and then Sulky came in and dropped it so that they could do Wheel of Time.
Yeah. Wheel of Time is just average. It's nothing special. There's good moments and moments that don't make sense. Breezy's, you know, everybody that told me they were hesitant once they started watching House of the Dragon, they were back. And look, the numbers bear that out because Game of Thrones didn't start with anywhere near the ratings that House of the Dragon had.
Yeah.
And House of the Dragon was north of 20 million after the second week. So,
those first couple seasons, they were sitting around 5 million an episode, weren't they?
Of Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
It exploded after the Red Wedding. The Red Wedding went viral. And at that point, people were starting to hate Joffrey. They started to have the characters they really liked. Because if you didn't read the books, you didn't know much about Jon Snow. I mean, at the beginning, it was Ned Stark. You met Daenerys, but she wasn't like core to it, right? You had Drogo. You had all these characters, but you didn't really know, if you had not read the books, who were going to be the main characters moving forward. And so season 3, you knew more about who the story ultimately was going to be about. And
absolutely.
And they drew you in, and you had Ned dying, you had the Red Wedding and Robb Stark dying, you had Joffrey poisoned, and it was like, okay, this is crazy. And there are real stakes here, which we talk about all the time. You'd have, movies, hero movies, adventure movie, and nobody ever dies. It's like watching soldiers fire guns. Well, if they never hit anybody, it becomes kind of a joke.
Yeah.
And so, there has to be real stakes, and Game of Thrones had that. And then House of the Dragon had that too. And
This right here. An old, frail man slowly walking across the room to sit on a chair to help his daughter. Chills.
best scene of season 1 was him trying to get up the steps when he shows up for Rhaenyra, and Daemon, his crown falls off and he puts the crown back on his brother's head and helps him up to the throne, which was improvised, by the way, by Matt Smith.
And he did not even receive a nomination for Best Actor.
Ridiculous. But so teaser comes out, the crowd in Brazil, every time they showed Rhaenyra, they cheered. And then you guys can watch those clips. They showed the Greens, Alicent, Aegon, crowd silent.
Yeah.
Every time Rhaenyra popped up, cheered. Now, people may change their minds a little bit over the next season or two.
You think? Which
things get a little.
Did you notice? Let's say those first 2 characters. I didn't see blood and cheese in the trailer.
Oh, well, yes, we're gonna get to that. So let me share my screen and let's get into it. So let me know for those in chat, and Caleb, can you see my screen?
Yes.
So first of all, let me credit the X Twitter account, X Wake the Dragon. If you want to follow them, go give them a follow at WTDASOIAF. Really enjoy them. They have a great Discord, by the way, a community around Game of Thrones. Fantastic. So I appreciate Wake the Dragon. Chatted with them today. Want to give them a shout out. And let me know if you can see these first images. Can everybody see them?
Yep.
So what do we got here, Caleb?
We've got Rhaenyra sitting there trying to find her son's body.
So that is Storm's End, Shipwrecker Bay. And she is trying to find the body of her son, Luke, Lucerys, and Arax, who went down at the end of season 1 to Vhagar and Aemond. And I'm looking at the braids of her hair. The back of her braids look a little different. Is that
almost
the
as
braids?
if she's been tearing out her hair?
Well, we're going to do some digging, and maybe we'll correct this later, but is that the braid of Visenya Targaryen? Just food for thought. But we open with the voiceover of Otto Hightower. And it was so well done, because when you're seeing this shot, and let me know, can you see the next shot?
Yes.
She's devastated. Her son is gone. Now, in this scene, maybe she finds what's left of his body, or the dragon that's washed up on the shore. There's fishermen. There's a shot of some fishermen in Shipwrecker Bay. And so maybe she's seeing what's left. Maybe she's not, but she knows he's dead.
Right.
But this is in the voiceover, the narration at the beginning of the teaser is Sir Otto Hightower saying that errors were made, after the coronation of Aegon. And so he's acknowledging that something happened that was not intended, which was the death of Lucerys. So we didn't know from Fire and Blood, it was left open to interpretation of, did Aemond kill Lucerys and Arax on purpose? Was it an accident? But the show from the end of season 1 leads you to believe that Arax poked the bear a little bit. Luke was trying to get away and was going to get away, but the dragon felt threatened. And when the dragons feel threatened, they're not controlled by their riders. And Arax went back and attacked Vhagar, hit Vhagar with fire, and Vhagar then disobeyed Aemond and killed Arax and Luke. or Lucerys.
In
So-
one of the
So that's what Otto's referencing is
yeah,
this was not on purpose.
and
Now, who do you
just
think
a-
Otto's talking to? Do
crazy
you think this
scene.
is do you think this is where he's doing diplomacy?
I think it's closer to him trying to warn Alicent. I think or Alicent or Aegon. I think he's trying to remind them that we've messed up here. So we need to be careful because technically we just started a war. But I'm also
Right.
pro-black, so
Yeah, I know that Otto is conducting a lot of diplomacy, so there's no telling
Mm-hmm.
who he's speaking to. But we know from the end of the episode of season 1 that this happened and it was tragic, and Lucerys dies. We see these scenes now. Can you see my screen? Can you see the next shot?
yes.
What's that, Caleb?
That's Damon's dragon helmet.
Does anybody have better armor than Daemon? I know you're probably going to say Robert Baratheon or the Morning Star, like Sir
I
Arthur
think
Dayne.
so we didn't really get to see his armor, but we've seen renditions of it, and I think Rhaegar's is the best that I've seen.
Rhaegar's is good. We haven't seen it. We've only seen it in renderings. But Daemon Targaryen's got some pretty cool armor. And
Yep.
it looks like he's leaving Dragonstone there. I'm looking out the windows. Does that look like there are trees?
It does, yeah. So it's not
So what-
Dragonstone.
So that's Harrenhal then.
You think this is
Because,
for the Battle of Harrenhal?
well,
Well, this
there's
see,
there's the
this looks
Godswood.
small though.
There's the
And
Godswood at
everything in
Harrenhal.
Harrenhal is bigger than everything else.
But am I wrong there, chat? There are trees right there, right?
Yeah, they're trees, but it could be well, we know it's not Winterfell.
In season 2, we know Daemon is in Harrenhal.
Well, where does he go between where does he go between Dragonstone and Harrenhal?
I'm trying to remember. Isn't it through not the Riverlands?
I think
It's
it's
either
likely,
Dragonstone. I think this is Harrenhal, Caleb. Because let me scroll down and see if they show it. We're going to keep going for now. We're going to come back to the Harrenhal Dragonstone discussion around Daemon in just a second. So let me keep sharing. What do we have here?
King's Landing.
We've got the Iron Throne.
Yeah.
We've got Aegon. And we've got, who is that? Easterling? Or Eastermont?
Oh,
Estermont? His two friends. There they are.
oh yes.
So we've got Estermont here. I'm trying to think of the other person's name, but we've got Aegon. And let me tell you, even though I know people don't like the greens, they got great battle armor. They got the Signia. It's pretty cool
Their
stuff.
sigils are really good.
Pretty cool stuff.
Well, even if you I don't know if anyone saw it, but I think HBO released some images probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was like official something of the blacks and the greens. And the greens just looked better. It had little high tower towers interconnected. It looked better.
And see, we've got the green now on,
Mhm.
and I love the attention to detail. She not only is wearing the greens, the color of her family,
Right.
but look at the chair. It's got green upholstery
Yep.
and gold. It's just the pillow, but who's she talking to?
Let's see. Clubfoot.
That's right. You see the
Yeah,
cane.
'cause he's got a cane right there.
Got the cane. So she's talking to Laris. So Mr. Foot Fetish himself is back at it, working with Alicent. And so this is the scene where, for those that haven't seen the teaser or did see it, remember, this is where she talks about many will die in this war. And, there will be much loss. She's obviously, she knows that. Now, this scene could come after the infamous Blood and Cheese.
Yeah.
It
Well,
could come before, but
I would expect it would. She looks pretty devastated.
she looks, yeah, she's got a white towel or something in her hand. So there's
Well,
there's
she's
no
got to
telling.
clean up after him, probably.
Yeah, after Laris. Yeah. And then we've got one of the great actors of Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon. Perfect casting.
Absolutely.
Sir Otto Hightower. I mean, a great actor. To all these other studios that are casting in movies around fantasy, science fiction, this is a guy that should be the top of the list of any character that has an age to him or wisdom, or because he can play good or bad. And he's playing Otto in a way that is not totally evil. He's not good, but he is a true hand of the king. And if you remember from season 1, he went to Rhaenyra on Dragonstone and said, let there not be bloodshed. You know, you will be given the titles. You will be given Dragonstone. Like, he tried to avoid it.
But he knew Daemon wasn't going to take that.
Well, he knew Daemon wasn't, but it's his duty to bring that to Rhaenyra. And he also knew, and they lay it out in season 1, that he says, if you give this to Rhaenyra, if you accept her as the queen with Daemon, your children will all be killed. No question. We will all be killed. And so the writing in this is so well done. He's making the case. So you can't just say, oh, this is just an evil opportunist. Was he opportunistic in sending his daughter to Viserys?
Absolutely.
Sure. But you know, he's a great character with a lot of depth and well acted, and he's in the Tower of the King right here. You can see the opening. And you know, this is a great shot. And then we talked about the banners.
Yep.
What's the banner? What's the banner there?
It's the lighthouse at Old Town.
That's right.
Where the high tower. It's the high tower at Old Town.
It's the high tower at Old Town. And we haven't met one of Alicent's children yet, who is actually at Old Town. So will we see them in season 2? I don't know. We did not see them in this teaser trailer that I noticed. But yep, we've got the sigils there, and we've got the armor, and they're headed where, Caleb?
I'm going to assume they're probably headed to Rook's Rest.
Another great shot. I mean,
am I right about that?
You are right. They're headed to the Rook's Rest for the Battle of Rook's Rest,
which is supposed to be directed by
Alan Taylor.
Yep, and that's episode 4, I believe.
Somewhere in there. The first episode deals with Blood and Cheese. The second episode deals with the Cargill brothers. So we'll get there in 3 or 4. Yeah. So here's a lesson to people filming medieval and your characters can't look like they just stepped out of an Abercrombie and Fitch store.
Yeah. Everyone has to look different. You've got to have, there's uniformity in non-uniformity.
Look, all these guys have facial hair. They have dirty sheet. Like, this is rough. And that is attention to detail that gives authenticity to what you're seeing. That's where Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon are up top notch. And so the setting for these stories is as much a character as any actor. So let's keep scrolling here. So they're headed to Rook's Rest. We've got another shot of Aegon
on the throne with the Conqueror's crown.
With Aegon's crown that we will probably see in the next couple of years in a new series around Aegon or movie.
I'll buy it. I'll buy one.
Oh yeah, that's a great point. Why are they not selling Rhaenyra and Viserys' crown? Why are they not selling Robert's crown? And why are they not selling the Aegon crown replicas? Like, I'd buy all of them.
Oh yeah, I'd have them all.
This is clearly not. I'm a little teasing, a little spoilerish. We know this is prior to the Battle of Rook's Rest, don't we, Caleb?
Yeah.
And we'll just leave it at that. Looking at Aegon, this is prior to Rook's Rest. So they talk in this, and on Twitter they mentioned they thought maybe this was Allison. I don't think that's Allison. I think maybe that's Aegon. But
So,
you,
so here's the thing.
does that look
I
like a
could
woman's
see-
hands?
I do think it looks kind of like a woman's hands, especially
Really?
the one down the right one, which I guess technically is the left one if you're looking at it. But look up at the like just where the gold leaflet stuff is.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like there's a little bit of a bust right there.
Okay, maybe. Okay.
I don't
So
wanna
there's
sound too
debate.
creepy.
And this looks like a gold chalice, maybe a cup.
Oh yeah, they're definitely drinking.
So
And by
if people
now
remember
she's probably depressed by now. So
from season 1, we saw in the High Council that you would have the ball, right?
yeah, that was
and you would
weird.
speak. Yeah. And so this is clearly the High Council, but we don't know if it's Allison. And then we have Fabian
Kristen
Frankel,
Cole.
aka Sir Kristen Cole, and we've covered it on our channel. I know the women and people that love his hair in season 1, the long hair. Well, it's gone.
I think his armor has changed as well.
It has.
Or his shoulders are much bigger.
Well, this is a great shot. This guy's done a really good job
Mhm.
turning Kristen Cole into a real douche.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what a shot, right? An execution.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know we don't really want to give spoilers, but who did the thing say this guy was? Lord Darkland.
People won't really know, so that's not giving anything. It's Lord Darkland after the sack of Duskendale. So, our guy, Sir Kristen Cole, he's not happy. And as this war's starting,
So this is going to be would this be episode 3, you think?
3 or 4.
Because this should be before Rook's Rest, right?
Yeah, it might be episode 3. Maybe
Okay.
episode 3, because I think most of this teaser, for those that haven't read the books, and this is pretty in line with what we've seen from other studios and movies and series, they don't want to show you things from the back half of the season.
Right.
They want to show you as much because they're in post-production right now. So they're wanting to show you the first couple of episodes. So this may be episode 2 or 3.
Mhm.
So, but again, this is the thing that we all love. Anybody that's ever been to England and Ireland and Wales and Scotland, I've been on this locations and seen where they filmed Game of Thrones. Look at the shot across the water. Look at these stones. This is all real. Like, you don't have to,
Yeah.
you show up. They scout these locations. These are stones that have been here for 1,000 years or longer. So it's just the location, the on location filming, and it's just
Likely
it's almost
the
it's a
only
character, right?
it's likely that the only CG in this shot is they've probably removed a couple boats that were in the background.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, which is easy to do.
Yeah,
But-
but that's what's so incredible about this. That's why these places, these shows that make this stuff, they need to go on location, not only because they get paid to do it, because Ireland will pay you money, Spain will pay you money to go, but
Yes.
because it makes it look so much better.
Listen, Spain, Dubrovnik, Croatia, Iceland, England, Ireland, Wales, Scotland, like
Mhm.
it's a big part of why Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon and everything around George R. R. Martin's world building and his books is so special, because this is believability. It's believability. And when they're filming a castle that they'll film, in the volume for some of that, but they're still
Right.
building a lot of set around it. And they've struck a great balance that you don't see in a lot of other series, most other series, where the location filming is such a critical part of it. It's almost like a non-negotiable.
Right.
And just these shots are just really great. Now, the fishermen at Shipwrecker Bay, This is either going to tie into what we saw earlier when I mentioned the
that's what I
fisherman.
think this is.
Yeah, this could be Rhaenyra. You see off in the distance some activity over to the left, but this could be them finding the remains of Lucerys and Eryx.
For anyone that doesn't know, Shipwrecker Bay is just off the coast of Storm's End,
That's
which
right.
is where the seat of House Baratheon.
Yeah. And so we covered a lot of this filming. And again, the location, just Rook's Rest.
Yep.
And this is a major battle in season 2. And we're not giving away names, but we'll say that dragons and key people will perish at Rook's Rest. And there are high stakes. And every battle you will see moving forward on House of the Dragon has major implications for the final end of the story.
Has major implications for the entire
For history.
Yeah, for the entire history of Westeros.
Yeah, and this is just, I mean, when you think about the things that you've seen in Lord of the Rings, Arthurian legend, Vikings, the Saxon invasion, William and Normandy, all of it. I mean, these are the kind of things that you go, man, if I turn on the TV or I'm in a theater or whatever, and I see the level of detail around the location filming and the characters and the battles, these guys have credibility. Alan Taylor has credibility, and it's going to be a great battle. Now, let's get into this shot. Who's this, Caleb?
I thought it was Nettles.
No, it's not.
But yeah, everyone said that she's not in it. So who is it? I don't know.
So, you know who the dragon is?
Is it Sea Smoke?
There you go, Caleb. The dragon is Sea Smoke.
I know some shit.
And
Stuff.
that is a character that I'm going to predict that by the time House of the Dragon concludes its run, this will be one of the fans' favorite characters in the story. And that is Adam of Hull.
Oh, okay. Look,
So,
if I had known from this angle it was a dude, that's who I would have picked.
Yeah.
But from this angle, I can't really tell.
and not going to blow it up, but Adam of Hull is riding Sea Smoke there.
Yep.
Look at that shot. Listen, I'm a shield for Game of Thrones because and I criticized the last 2 seasons. So I'm critical when it's not doing what it's supposed to do. But look at the cinematography. Fabian Wagner and the cinematographers, look at that shot. I mean, we know that's CGI of a dragon there,
yeah.
but come on. The lighting of that, look at the clouds.
I love that.
I mean, I was watching this today, and even when I stopped watching it and started looking at the screenshots, if that doesn't get you fired up, I don't know. I don't then
I
you
definitely need to rewatch it.
Yeah, there's so many shots, and then we've got Alicent in the Red Keep. Olivia's doing a great job playing Alicent.
Which this
Great job.
looks like, I'd say this kind of looks like she's in mourning.
Yes, I would agree.
What do you think she's in mourning for?
Well, somebody close to her is dead or wounded very badly. Could be both.
Gee.
So we've got.
I
Rhaenyra.
love this shot. I absolutely love this. This is not only does it look like she's starting to become a queen here.
Yes, look at the
Ray-
dragons on her shoulders.
Oh, look at it's beautiful. I think it makes Dany's dragon stuff look like crap.
And her hair's changed. They got her hair better this season. The wig.
Yeah. The art department has gotten a little bit better with the
Listen,
wig.
shout out to the costume people. Sell this. Sell the necklace. People will buy all that stuff.
Oh yeah. You don't think Nikki would buy this dress?
Well, I don't know. Who knows? But this is dinner at Harrenhal. Are you excited to see Harrenhal?
Well, yes, but I would have I think I'm more excited to see Harrenhal eventually in the Aegon show.
Oh yeah, more of the early days of Harrenhal.
Yeah,
Sure.
to see Harrenhal in its beauty.
But
yeah,
I'm excited to see Harrenhal because of Alice Rivers and Damon and all the things we're going to see around that.
mm-hmm.
It's going to be more of a setting, a backdrop for some very interesting storylines. So great shot. This is Rhaenyra. She's mourned her son. She's a queen conducting a war.
Oh,
and
this is a good point. Setting up Harrenhal for Dunk and Egg.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
providing us with context. Well, that I would not have even thought about that.
Have we talked before? That is a good point, and that is setting it up, no doubt, no doubt. You like the way they've done the Iron Throne? It's still not to the level of what George.
I do like that drawing. If you won't, I can pull it up real quick. But that
And we can finish the screenshots. We'll go back to it.
Yeah, that fan art of the Iron Throne
and how big it really was.
Yeah, I like that, and it's
But what do you think about this?
I do like that as well, though.
I do too.
I think the idea that, plus, it kind of makes it make a little more sense when they say that Robert removed all of the Targaryen assemblage and just kept the Iron Throne.
Yeah.
Real quick, this is the fan art I was talking about. Just a giant throne, which is kind of cool when you think about the description of the Iron Throne. That they took all the swords and Balerion created it. But I do like that Iron Throne.
Now, can you all see the shot of Aemond here?
Yep.
So he's in the Red Keep, and he's in the throne room. He's looking at her walking towards the throne, and we won't give anything away, but there's a reason why he's walking towards the throne that nobody's sitting on.
So this is like episode 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, okay. We're going to tie back to the shot of Daemon that we said. Was he walking out of Dragonstone? There are trees outside the window.
Uh-huh.
Is that Harrenhal? This is the Godswood at Harrenhal.
Now, how do we know that?
Well, it's been reported. We don't know 100%,
okay.
but it's been reported that that's what the shot is. I don't know if they say, yeah. So Daemon killing someone in the Harrenhal Godswood. So
Okay.
Don't know for sure. So that's a good point, Caleb. It's not confirmed, but let's say that it is Harrenhal. It's Daemon's journey is a fascinating one in House of the Dragon. Like, there are going to be moments when they love him, the fans, and moments when it's a Jaime Lannister thing, right?
Yeah.
Which will be
so cool to see if they do it better with him than they did Jaime.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. So, because that's one of the reasons Matt Smith took this. I mean, look, Daemon Targaryen is one of the best written characters in all of George R. R. Martin's books because he's an anti-hero, and people love anti-heroes. Are so fun to play because they don't follow a straight line, and it's much more fun to play, and it's fun to watch because you go, you know what? I think I know where this story's going, or I think I know what's going to happen here. With Daemon Targaryen and Jaime Lannister and those types of characters, you don't know. You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes it fun to read and fun to watch. And probably a lot of fun for him to act in. But this is...
Oh, absolutely.
Look, the weirwood trees, the magic of Westeros, and the Godswood.
And there is magic.
Yes. And this is... I don't think we'll speculate about, because we don't know for sure that this is Harrenhal, the Godswood, but we think it is who he's executing here. But could be someone that's pretty strong, right?
Well,
Hint, hint.
hang on. Would Harrenhal have a Godswood? Oh, I
Yeah.
guess they would because
Yeah.
the God's Eye is right there. Never mind.
We did not get much of Corlys Valerian in the teaser, although he is at CCXP in Brazil with Ewan Mitchell, aka Aemon
Yep.
Targaryen,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to see the sea snake in his armor on the water going to battle. He is a
Yep.
key part in what happens the rest of this story.
Yes, he is.
So I think they're going to keep some of this close to the vest, but Corlys is important in what's going to become the Dragon Seeds
Right.
lineage. His love for
yeah,
Rhaenys.
that.
Yes. His offspring is a key to what happens in the end game of the story. And he's a key to it. And so the characters in the books were not dark skinned. So I'll point that out. Like people have said, well, why do they change why do they change the characters? Well, look, I loved Steve Toussaint, his acting in season 1.
Did an incredible job. Absolutely.
I don't care. I don't care that, I don't care that they changed his race. If someone does care, that's fine. That's their prerogative. So why do you change something for the books? That's fine. It doesn't change who he is. And look, I want everybody from all walks of life, all races, religions, to watch Game of Thrones, House of Dragon, because I love it. And so I'm glad that Steve Toussaint got cast as Corlys. I thought he did a great job. I think he's got a big part to play in the remainder of the story. And they've been a little bit closely guarded about, his lineage, the Dragon Seeds. When I say Dragon Seeds, for those that don't know, those are individuals. They have a lot of dragons at this point, but they don't have as much dragon riders.
Right.
So they need people that dragons will not kill, will not eat, burn, and kill. Not easy to ride a dragon. And so they're going to get into that. And some of that ties into Corlys. And Corlys also has the biggest navy.
Yep.
And we saw, what happened in some of the fights in season 1. Some of that's going to come back into play politically. But Corlys is a key part of the allegiance to Rhaenyra and Daemon. And then everybody, you've heard me talk about it.
I cannot wait.
I want the painted table. It won't be that
Me
big,
too.
but I'm getting the painted table. It's going to be LED lighting along the bottom. We'll have a camera shot that will show our studio. I wish it was the size of that. It won't be, but the Black Council. You've got Rhaenys. You've got Eric Cargyle. You've got. So this is episode 1.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah.
This is episode 1. So you've got Daemon and you've got Rhaenyra, and you see the pieces on the various areas of Westeros and the alliances. So this goes to probably what's going to be happening around Winterfell and rallying allegiance for the battles. So this is strategy, and great shot here. Great shot of Dragonstone.
And it'll be nice seeing the strategy in this as well.
Yeah. They didn't do as much of that in Game of Thrones.
Right. I agree. And I kind of thought we were going to get that when I started watching it much later than everyone else. But when I got to Stannis, I thought we'd see a lot more strategy.
Right.
And there wasn't as much as I was hoping there would be. But it looks like we're going to get a lot more in this. And so I'm really, really interested in it.
Okay. Everyone, this is the part of the teaser that I love because I don't know when this is happening or what it is. And I love it. Alicent looking not like she has looked any other time in the show. I love the color here. Even though you've got green, lush woods behind her, it almost has a bluish green tint to it, right? The shot of her here with minimal makeup. And then look at this. This almost reminds me of like a Lady of the Lake. Like,
yes.
What a shot. Like, and she is not, look, this is Alicent Hightower basically wearing next to nothing.
Yeah.
Like, they don't wear this stuff. Like, when they're so. Where is she?
Well, let's see.
There's a cat. So the way they're doing this shot for everybody,
Probably make
there's a castle in front of her. See it? Like you can see
Yep.
the end, but we don't know where it is. So, and why is she standing in front of that lake, not really dressed?
Well, so you know what it reminds me of? When queens or aristocracy were beheaded back in the day, they usually came out in very little clothing. So I could see this being a sort of last scene of Allison.
I don't think so.
If not a last scene, then it's a morning scene. So I
Yeah,
think
it's definitely
I
a
think
morning scene.
I think this is going to be near the end. It's probably like episode 7.
Yeah. It's see, nobody knows. Like that's what I love is because that shot could be anything. And we didn't get Winterfell, folks,
Yeah.
but we got the Night's Watch. And I love this shot. Listen, show me something that has better cinematography than Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon. Like, look at that shot with the lighting of the sky at dusk.
Yep.
Sun's gone down, but you have that color, the skies and the trees, the clearing of the trees and the snow and the torches. Great shot. Great shot of the Night's Watch. Just great shot. Any thoughts here, Caleb?
No, I'm a little interested that we're going to see the Night's Watch.
Let me give you a little, not a spoiler, but a little behind the scenes that we covered on one of my prior videos.
Yeah.
That's not real snow. They
Well,
sprayed
you
it.
told me.
They sprayed it. Looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. The funny thing is, it also looks cold.
It does. It does.
Like I buy it. It's believable.
Yeah. Listen,
As Lasseter said, believability over realism.
that's right. If you're good at what you do behind the camera and production, nobody knows unless we talk about it on YouTube. Okay,
Mhm.
so it says Kristen Cole, Brooks Rest, but that's not Kristen Cole right there.
Now,
But
I think one of the other pictures in this group of 3 is Kristen Cole.
so that's Dragonfire, everybody,
Oh yeah,
and that's Rook's Rest.
and that looks like a scorpion that they're burning,
So
which would be an anti-dragon weapon.
so look at the shields. Those are
Yep.
Aegon's men, right?
Yeah.
See here? See on the left, the all these are Aegon's men being burned.
That looks like it's probably Cole.
That could be Cole there.
He's got the same shoulder pads. Well, not pads, but you know what I'm talking about.
Well, and I mean, that's a pretty ornate design around the
Yeah.
horse. So I think we've got Dragonfire by Meleys lighting up Aegon's army.
I think it's
We can say
Meleys.
that.
I think it's Sunfire.
Could be. I think it's Meleys. So early on, some great shots. This is a funeral in King's Landing, and a riot breaks out, and that's Allison Hightower. And this guy here was in One Piece
Yeah.
on the right.
Is it official that that's him?
That's him. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So you know whose great grandfather he is?
I don't.
Sir Allison Thorne. Sir Allison
Oh.
Thorne.
Oh. Okay.
Yep. He's a Thorne.
So there's a shot in here Let me see if we see it. I don't. It may not be this shot, but obviously this is a riot that's broken out in King's Landing. You can see the rooftops. It's clearly King's Landing. During a funeral procession that is early on in the season. Early
Who's
on.
that guy playing One Piece?
You have to look up his name. The guy that looks like Balin Skull from Ahsoka. So, again, another shot. Great shot, right? Great shot. I mean, you can't. I mean, Dubrovnik, Croatia. The buildings. You don't have to design any of this. Look at the ornate architecture of
it's
like
already there.
It's already there. You may have to do a little CGI to add like some stuff behind it, but when the majority of the set design is already there, it's easy. And then we haven't talked about, other than we did mention Corliss's offspring, Bela.
Yep.
And what dragon is she riding there? She's angry, and she's
it's Moon Dancer, right?
That's right. Caleb, you're good.
Thank you. There are captions on the tweets.
Now this is the quote where
this is where that quote comes from.
That's right. Nothing so angered the gods as a war between kin.
Which is, it's kind of funny because usually when Rhaenys opens her mouth, I'm getting really annoyed because she said 2 or 3 things that's really bugged me in that first season. First one,
she was a little snotty to Rhaenyra when she was a teenager.
Yeah, and then the whole it wasn't my job to end the war thing. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, of course. You picked a side. It's your job.
And they had imprisoned you and your dragon.
Yeah.
You had a chance to end it right then and there. Everybody that was in power would have been dead. It wasn't Kristen Cole there too. He was.
Yeah, everyone.
Otto,
both High Towers.
They're all dead.
The High Septim. Yeah.
Yeah. And that, folks, was a deviation from the book.
Yes. Yes, it was.
So,
but it's canon.
That's the one part of season 1 I didn't like because it didn't make a lot of sense. Rhaenys is very smart. She understands the stakes. She could have been Queen of the 7 Kingdoms, and just didn't make a lot of sense. But okay, I love this. Look at this shot, Caleb.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Now, I need to go back and watch the teaser. I don't know that this shot was in the teaser, so we need to research it.
I think it was. Maybe. Do see it on Twitter listed under an episode as well. If you want me to tell you what episode this is apparently from.
Well, do we know who this is?
Well, that's who's the most beautiful dragon?
Well, on the left, it's Rhaenyra.
Right, because her dragon's supposed to be the most beautiful, right?
No, it's Aegon's.
Oh.
Aegon's is the most beautiful dragon.
The right, I don't think that's Vhagar, is it?
No, way too small for Vhagar. Look at the size of that dragon compared
to
Rhaenyra's.
That's what I thought.
Not much bigger.
She's clearly angry, so could it have been Moon Dancer? Could she be mad at Bella? It's a person of small stature, it looks like.
It's Sea Smoke. It's Adam of Hull.
Okay. So she's angry.
And the fans really love this shot. This is great.
Oh
man, what a shot. You notice anything?
Well, she's wearing a veil.
She's wearing a funeral veil. That's right. When I first saw it in the teaser, I didn't catch it because it was so fast. And I was looking at her face.
So whose funeral is she at?
Well, we'll have to watch it in the first or second episode. You'll find out very quickly.
Yep.
But if she's wearing a veil, it's somebody very, very, very close to her.
Yep. She's in mourning. I love how, if you go back to that shot real quick.
Sure.
So this is a funeral, and the green is a darker green than their normal greens.
Yeah.
And I love that.
The tones of the greens. Yeah. They're different tones. Yeah.
So this is Helena.
Yep.
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 It's
And man,
Aegon's sister. And
the
Right.
rumors the rumors have been flying around that the footage it's shown her that she's done a great job. Because
this is
she plays a
Aegon's
big
wife,
part
right?
in the very beginning of the season and laying the groundwork. So
Mhm.
you have to sympathize with Helena early, like you have to. Like
Well,
you can't be the good
they've
guys.
got to start. They've got to start creating sympathy for the Greens because everything that's happened so far has been very pro-black. So
she's key to that.
yeah, we need it. One of the things that made Game of Thrones so great is you could have conversations about what side you were on, and they've got to start creating a side for the Greens. Now, I think this is the thing she's looking off in the distance in her little dress thing, and the white thing that Alicent is wearing. I think she's looking at this.
That's the dragon pit.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Rainey's destroyed it.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And keep in mind, I mean, Helena's got a dragon. She just doesn't ride it.
Right.
So, and you said we didn't see blood and cheese. We sure did.
We did, yes. So
There you go.
I think that's cheese, isn't it?
That's cheese. Yep. Blood and cheese. Starting things off with a bang in the first episode. And for those that like shock value and think it's impossible to have anything like the Red Wedding, get ready.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
Yeah. But that is cheese. So I'm a little surprised. That was a quick shot though. So they and man, oh man, David's got the best armor. I mean, look at that helmet.
It is a beautiful shot.
Man. It perfectly cast. I mean, this is the role. He'll never have a role better than this.
Yeah, especially now that Doctor Who's dead.
Well, yeah. He won't go back to that, but and I love like on his dragon mount, he's got the red that matches Caraxes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
even down to the handles. It's that like great stuff.
Caraxes, that was such a crazy scene.
What do we got here?
They're burning the dragon seeds.
Yeah.
Or failed dragon seeds, I think.
That's right. So for those that don't know, again, they have dragons, but they don't have enough riders. And so if you're someone who can ride a dragon, that's a life changer for you. And certain individuals, they tried. But dragons are not easy to mount and to ride. And they'll eat you and they'll burn you. And that's what's happening here. So dragons in this story were notorious for burning individuals who tried to ride them. And sometimes they had individuals that tried to ride them and they would fly up in the air and drop the individual. Not safe to be around a dragon. So Bracken Lord Knight fighting in the Riverlands.
Yep.
Caleb, this is the stuff. Look at the sigil. This is the part of Game of Thrones that I loved, is all the different areas of the kingdom. I loved the Riverlands. It's one of those things where when you think about yourself, like, where would you be if you were within this world? Would you be at the Vale? Would you be at King's Landing? Would you be at Dragonstone? I always enjoyed the Riverlands.
It's such a cool place, especially when you consider the history of the Riverlands, that for a very long time they were ruled by the Ironborn, which is what
Right.
Harrenhal was built by the Ironborn.
Right.
And it's
Which
weird
we will
when you
see
think
all
about
that during Aegon show.
Yeah, it's weird that you think about that because most of our knowledge of the Ironborn comes from Game of Thrones, where they just seemed like really pathetic Viking wannabes.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I wanted to show some of it and kind of get your thoughts overall. What did you think about the teaser overall? Did you, was there something I wanted to see Winterfell in the teaser, but I'm okay that we didn't.
Mhm. It
so-
gives us something. We also didn't see Cregan.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. You know, it gives us something to look forward to in the future. It gives them more stuff to give us in the next trailers that, you know, we don't have like 19 different trailers that all have the same stuff in them. And then it's and then it also gives us stuff to look forward to. You know, we're gonna
Yeah.
get a lot of what ifs and all this theory talk, and the probably honestly that stuff's probably gonna start popping up tomorrow, and then it's going
Right.
to go through until the end of time.
And let me share. You mentioned Sir Thorne. Let me
Yeah. Sir Alistair Thorne.
let me share something with you to just confirm what you were talking about for people to see. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
So Vincent Regan from One Piece, who I think could play Balin if they were to recast Balin in Ahsoka. He did a great job in One Piece. For those who haven't seen One Piece, go check it out. It's different, but it's really well done. Vincent Regan is playing Aegon's Kingsguard, Sir Rickard Thorne, which, as you mentioned, Caleb, doing your homework, an ancestor to Alistair Thorne. And
yeah, and
he's
so
the individual that's saving Alicent during the riot after the funeral.
And it's interesting that
So shout out to Redanian Intelligence, by the way.
Absolutely. And it's, I don't know if you want me to pull up the next one.
Sure.
But
Yeah,
it's
I'll stop sharing.
It's interesting that we're that Thorne is Thorne's going to be on the sides of kind of the bad guy here, because Alistair Thorne was on Rhaegar's side. The Thorns have long supported the Targaryens, and that's the main reason that he ends up at the Wall. Robert basically says, yeah, you know, I'll let you live, but you have to go to the Wall. And one of the reasons he's so angry with Jon throughout those first couple seasons of Game of Thrones is because he's watched the Night's Watch, which really used to be a really noble thing. I mean, second and third sons would just go straight to the Wall at like their 18th birthday, and they'd serve there for the rest of their life, obviously.
Right.
So he's seen it go from being this very noble profession to just filled with a bunch of rapers and thieves and murderers. Just a little explanation as to why Alistair is so mean to Jon.
Yeah.
So we've got I don't know if you showed this earlier.
I did not.
This
Corlys and Rhaenys.
Yeah.
It's important to season 2. It's very important.
Mm-hmm. Now, how did you show just the? There we go. Okay, I was trying to get the tweet off.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But it's so important to season 2 because stuff's going to happen that, and you know, if you think back to the first season, you know, we weren't really sure that Corlys A was alive for like half the season,
right?
And then if whether or not he was actually going to support Rhaenyra.
Yeah. And he said it at the CCXP today. Steve Toussaint, who plays Corlys Velaryon, he made a good point. He said, in the House of the Dragon and around the time of the Dance of the Dragons, and what you see on the show, these two individuals are the only couple that actually are like really in love with each other, really truly love each other. Like,
yeah,
their agendas with everybody else.
Weird to see.
Yeah, like they and you get to see, you're going to get to see in season 2 a little bit of how, like, why they're really fell in love, right? That love between those two. And again, when you're telling a story and you're writing a story, you have to have the payoff of somebody dying or becoming a hero or betrayal, anything that has stakes, you have to lay the groundwork for why we should care about them. You know,
Yeah.
think about the greatest movies you've ever seen: tragedies, deaths, heroes, loss, victory, betrayal. When you care about the characters and you've spent time with them, you're invested in them, and you know why they do what they do, it's being written that way, then the payoff is there. When you watch something or read something and you go, I don't really care that happened. Well, that means that the creators of the content didn't
They did
earn
a
it.
good job.
And so they're laying the groundwork. We saw a lot of the political intrigue and the setup in season 1. And so this is a good shot, of Rhaenys and Corlys.
And you know,
Because
I'm
they're all
looking
in now.
through-
They danced around it in season 1,
Yeah.
but there's no dancing in season 2. You got to pick a side and you're
Yeah.
going to war. And that even applies to characters we haven't even seen yet.
So I'm looking through these other big House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones Twitter pages, and this is the only other shot that I think we haven't talked about yet, and it's Aemon on Vhagar.
That's right.
Now we did get to see the giant the shot of Vhagar flying over Rook's Rest.
We did see
But-
Vhagar flying clearly. Yeah.
This is Aemon actually on Dragonback, and they've done a beautiful job with the scar makeup. He looks pretty pissed. So you got to wonder, when is this?
I think it could be over. It could be around Rook's Rest. But
I
we don't
think
know for
it's-
sure.
Well, so the thing, because obviously we don't want to give spoilers, but I
Right.
think this is after the thing that happens at Rook's Rest. I think he's reacting.
Could be.
But that's really the only other thing that was
there
on.
was.
And this is kind of interesting. This is from Westerosis. But look at the change in the presentation of Rhaenyra and Alicent.
Listen, they both have been through hell by the
Yeah.
time we get to season 2 and during season 2.
Like they're
Like-
both, it's almost like they've gone from being very confident to realizing they have no idea. And what's great is it has nothing to do with the fact that they are women. It's the fact that
Sure.
they are in the real world now and dealing with the consequences of war and battle. They have no idea. Like Alicent looks terrified. Rhaenyra just looks angry.
And they both look like they've been through the hell of war or going
Yeah.
through it. And look, I mean, at the end of the day, no one's going to survive this. Even if they survive physically, that they're
Mentally, you're
at the end of all this, when this is over, there are no winners. I mean, and that's why the quote from Rhaenys of nothing is so despised amongst the gods than a war between kin. Like, this is families going to war. But the difference is they have nukes. Dragons are like nuclear weapons, especially in medieval times, right? Like,
absolutely.
so, at the end of the day, I thought that the trailer did what it needed to do. The only thing I wanted to see was, and I don't know if you can pull up something around Cregan Stark. There was,
I did see something on one of these things about Cregan.
So we can, they call them so we saw the Night's Watch.
Oh,
We didn't see
one
Winterfell.
thing- here's another thing. So I know you did a video about this, I think yesterday, about the twins.
Right.
But here's a picture of what looks to be a fight.
Yep, we missed that one too. That is the Cargyle brothers
Yep.
fighting at Dragonstone.
And that's going to be now. Obviously, this isn't going to be as big of a buildup as Clegane Bowl,
Okay,
Uh, but it's got potential to be a really I think passionate fight, because if you go back to episode 10, where they show up, where Otto shows up to give the little, here's how we'll do peace. They you could see them kind of like locking eyes, and they're ready, they're ready to react. And you kind of get the sense that if they have to react, they know they're going after each other.
right.
Brother versus brother. You're right. Oh,
You're right. Breezy's brother versus brother. And let me share my screen. There's one more thing I got to show that was not in the trailer, but
okay.
we're going to give it to you because we're covering all things Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon.
Absolutely.
So let me pull up right here. And I don't think it matters if you can hear the sound. Great. If you can't, you're still going to get the gist of it. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Let me know if you can hear this. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Frosty. Who is that, Caleb?
Regan.
It's Cregan Stark, everybody.
Because winter is coming.
Listen, this cat is about to have his life changed, right? Tom Taylor
He's going
is
to be everything
Cregan
after that.
Stark. So this guy is going to is going to be a big part of this story and how it all plays out. And we already are invested in the Starks. We're already invested in Winterfell. We know that Jace is going to Winterfell to
Yep.
create an allegiance, and there are major ramifications for what happens with Jace, and some similar arcs to what some other characters have done in the North in Game of Thrones. And Cregan's a big part of it. So I wanted to show that because they didn't really show him in the teaser, and I don't blame them. They want you to finally meet Cregan and be like, oh, it's Cregan Stark. Like,
Yeah.
how's he related to Ned? How's he relate? Like, people are going to start doing the math to kind of find out, like, generationally, whose great grandfather is he?
Because there's never been a Stark that forgot an oath.
Yeah. So Cregan, played by Tom Taylor. When I first saw a picture of him, I thought, man, he's got bleach blonde hair, no facial hair.
Mhm.
Yeah, that ain't a Stark. But
Well,
you can
like
see what they're going for.
Did you see the video of, I think it was a video, it might have just been a picture, but a couple of them were out drinking. So Cregan and Jace were drinking. Let me share this, because neither of them look like who their character is supposed to be.
That's right. Yeah.
Like that doesn't look like a Stark. That doesn't look like a
But
Targaryen.
you know who they do? Who they do look like?
A couple of
look like-
footballers.
They look like what Kit Harington and Madden and Richard Madden and Alfie Allen. They look like what those guys look like when they first started the show.
They do, yeah.
But we do know from the shot I just showed you that Tom Taylor's hair is longer. He's growing it there. So
We also know they can, at least one of them can drink, because
That's
it's
right.
a big glass.
And look, I mean, Jace has got he's got to have grown a little bit, right? It's not a long
Right,
period
yeah.
of time between what we saw at the end of season 1, season 2. So like, it can't change that much. But
Mhm.
Cregan, look, we just saw it in the video I showed you. He's got some facial hair, hair's longer.
Right.
They've got to set him up so that by season 5, 4, 5, 6, whatever it's going to go, that beard gets a little fuller, that hair gets a little longer. Just like Jon and some of the others, as their hair grew and their beards grew, because they're getting older, they've been in battles, and it shows, right? So
Right.
wanted to show Cregan. I'm excited for it. All in all, had a little bit of an impromptu stream today, not too planned, although I wanted to either do a video or just reach out and put it out there in the YouTube verse. Our thoughts on it. I'm excited for season 2. It's to me, it's going to be great. I wish it was 12 episodes, but I'll take 8.
100. Yeah, I'll take 8, especially because it seems like we're going to get another show in 2025.
Yeah, we're gonna get Night of the Seven Kingdoms, Story of Dunk and Egg. We'll get casting on that soon. They're filming in the spring, so we'll have a lot of coverage around that. So the way this is setting up, George R. R. Martin has already said, I don't know that we have to pull it up, but he said a day or two ago that they're already in pre-production on season 3 for House of the Dragon.
Yeah, they're in pre-production. Yeah.
So they will probably start filming in the summer.
Yeah,
So
I would imagine so. They'll either start filming in the summer or depending on where. I'm trying to think about where. Well, I guess we won't know where they'll need to film until we know where this season ends in the story.
Right.
But they may need it to be colder where they're filming.
And what's interesting is they filmed season 1 of House of the Dragon at Leavesden in England, they filmed it in England on location and in the studios and all that. But it looks like they're going to be filming A Night of the Seven Kingdoms in Ireland, or that is being talked about. So what will they do with season 3 of House of the Dragon? Will they film some of that in Ireland? Will they stay in England? What will the overlap be of the crews? There's a lot of
depending on how long it takes to film, those crews may just be the Westeros crew now. They may just stay, instead of having to go, okay, well, I'm done for the season. They may just have a full season, a full year of filming.
Yeah, so it looks now like that we're going to be getting Game of Thrones content yearly. That we won't have,
a great thing right now.
Yeah, because keep in mind, we had House of the Dragon in 22, nothing in 23.
Yep.
And it's coming back in 24. We will have House of the Dragon in the summer of 24, Night of the Seven Kingdoms in spring to summer of 25, and House of the Dragon season 3.
Yeah.
In early 26 for summer. Yeah. So we'll have yearly content until we get an answer on Aegon the Conqueror series, the Jon Snow series, and some of the other things that they may do. Robert's Rebellion. I mean, George R. R. Martin said there's 8 series in development.
Yes, yeah.
And so they're not going to do all those, but they will. Look, there's already rumors that they want more seasons than what's already been agreed upon with House of the Dragon.
I think that would be a mistake.
Here's what I think they're going to do. I think that they could keep the name House of the Dragon, and as the show
chapter it,
and instead of like Game of Thrones, they could keep House of the Dragon because it still deals with the Targaryens, right?
Right.
House of the Dragon, and the Dance of the Dragons ends after 4 seasons.
Yeah,
and then season 5 of House of the Dragon gets into
Blackfires,
the Blackfire Rebellion.
That's the next big thing, isn't it? After the Death of Dragons, there's like 20 or 30 years of relative peace, and then isn't it the Blackfire Rebellions?
Yeah, the Blackfire Rebellion's got a ton of story. That could go 5 seasons easy.
Well, and that'll link to Game of Thrones with
to Robert's Rebellion.
Yeah.
So, to me, that's what I think they're going to do. They may keep the name House of the Dragon because you're still dealing with. For those that watch Game of Thrones, we were dealing with the Targaryen dynasty all the way up to Aerys, the Mad King, and Jaime killing the Mad King, and Robert takes the throne. So they could do House of the Dragon all the way up to Robert's Rebellion if they wanted to.
Yeah, I think what they'll probably do is what I would have done is
Mr. Anderson, there is blood in a war between dragons, though. Because
a lot of it.
Dragons don't just burn humans. They eat them. They bite them into pieces. And they bite each other into pieces, which is what Vagar did to Arax. And you
Oh,
saw
so
blood. You saw blood coming from Arax as he was falling in pieces from in the sky.
Yep.
So there's a lot of blood with dragons. But I get your question though. There's blood amongst men, and there's fire amongst dragons. So fire and blood. I got you. But you know, I just wanted to cover it. I didn't want to do too long of a stream tonight. You know, it's Saturday. We've got sports stuff's going on and other people's streams, a lot of stuff going on. I wasn't planned to do it. So, and I haven't streamed in almost 2 months, maybe. I was looking earlier.
Yeah, I think it's been about 2 months.
So I got to build my audience back up. But I hope you guys liked the intro video. Let me know. What you guys think about it?
I loved it, dude.
I got more coming where that's concerned. Do you want me to see? Should I put that intro video out as a video on YouTube?
Yes, I 100% think you should.
Okay. Yeah, I got you, Mr. Anderson. But no, so you know, I don't have my co-host, my normal co-host with me, but Caleb's joined us when we first started doing streams anyway. So and Caleb he loves Game of Thrones as much as anybody.
Yep.
So Caleb, I appreciate it. So as we wrap up, we come up on, you know, we've got a couple minutes left. I want to end around the hour and 30-minute mark. Anything you didn't see in it that you wanted to see? I know we didn't see Nettles. We didn't see Hugh Hammer.
Right. Yeah.
We didn't see Ulf the White. We didn't see Cregan.
I was kind of expecting.
We didn't see Jace.
Oh yeah, there's a lot we didn't see, and I was kind of expecting to see a little bit of if just for like a quick little snapshot of a dragon fight. I thought we might have seen like boom, and then something else.
Breezies. I wanted to see Winterfell badly.
Yeah. Well, they're. I don't even think they'll put it in the trailer.
Listen,
I think
we know it's
make
coming.
us wait.
The first episode, we're going to see Winterfell.
Yeah, I think they're going to make us wait.
And let me tell you, like, I don't know that I'll be emotional when I see it, but there's nothing I love more watching Game of Thrones than seeing Winterfell. Dragons, I love the dragons. Drogon is my favorite dragon. Like, I love Drogon. So, but Drogon can be anywhere, right? But Winterfell in the spring, Winterfell when it was snowing. I mean, give me Winterfell. Like, if they didn't have, you know, when they filmed on the set of what became Winterfell, it was in Sterling can speak to it, maybe show some of his photos. You know, they filmed it. It's a section of what Winterfell looks like on the screen. They CGI'd quite a bit of that, except for the interior stuff. But if it really existed like that, that'd be a place I would go to yearly and stay a week.
Yeah.
Like literally, I would pay to go stay there. And I don't know that I'd walk around and act like a knight every other day, but just staying somewhere that felt like that. I mean, and there are castles you can go to that give you that feeling. But
well, I'll tell you what, you think those Imagineers at Disney get tired of hearing things? Can you imagine working at Winterfell and all you hear, winter is coming?
Yeah.
That's all you would hear.
Yeah, it's
King of the North.
But when I see it in episode 1, because it's not been in the trailers, then in teasers, then yeah, that'll work for me. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But it was interesting we didn't see Jace. I kind of have an idea why. And we didn't see Creek and we didn't see Nettles. We didn't see some of the Dragon Seeds. But hope you guys enjoyed it. Final thoughts, Caleb?
I'm ready to go. Let's go. I need my time machine. I need to skip ahead. I'm tired of waiting. Give it to me.
So for everybody that stuck around, our next stream, which is going to be a Hand of the King stream, and we're around Christmas, so it'll be in the next week and a half. So within 2 weeks, I'll put it out with about 2 days notice. I'll put the thumbnail out, not like I did today with 2 hours notice. I'll put the thumbnail out for those that watch this video on playback, because I get a lot of views after I wrap the stream. I'll put a thumbnail out with a few days to spare, and we're going to be giving away Game of Thrones stuff. Just to give you an idea, we're going to be giving away some collectibles. We're going to be giving away stuff like the McFarlane Game of Thrones stuff. So for those that want to see it, let me give you a kind of
Here, I
close-up
got you.
shot here.
Yeah. Oh.
You know, the Iron Throne Room, that's a McFarlane piece. And so we're going to be giving away Game of Thrones collectibles all throughout December. So I'm going to give away at least 5 different Game of Thrones items to people that tune in. You got to be subbed and you got to be in the chat attending the streams to win. So look for that next thumbnail that will be the Hand of the King. We'll have a panel discussion. We'll have more videos and stuff that we can show. And thanks everybody for tuning in, those that were here tonight on short notice. And Caleb, thank you for being part of my Hand of the King. I owe you one of these that I'll send you soon. An authentic Hand of the King pin
There
from
you go.
HBO. So you can join the council. And everybody have a great Saturday night. See ya.
TCB.